Hi, Jimmie The G-Him back here once again with you with another look at the 2018 NFL Draft. This time part 2 of the top undrafted free agents. We had part 1 before. We saw a list of 9 players in part 1. You can check out part 1 on the channel. This time we will round out our group of undrafted free agents. We have 8 more to profile here today. And first we'll start with the 10th overall top undrafted free agent from this past NFL draft, and that would be offensive lineman Skyler Phillips out of Idaho State. Now Phillips, while he may be a FCS prospect along the offensive line, he did get an invite to the combine and he performed admirably well with good times in the 40 and the 20. His vertical jump and his bench press was also noteworthy. It wasn't stand out, but it was definitely draftable given his numbers. You also look at his 6'3", 318 size, and I think he can find a spot on the interior of the line, that be a guard or center or somewhere between the tackles on the offensive line. He's the type of guy that, with his athleticism and with him coming from the FCS level of competition, you would expect him to have a chance at getting better initially once he gets to the NFL and get NFL coaches. That, of course, is the team that signs him or any of the teams that he get acquired by doing this process of trying to stick with the NFL team. If they spend the time to develop him and just work with him, maybe even in a practice squad capacity, you could see incredible growth there. Okay, moving along to the 11th best prospect out of the 2018 undrafted free agent class. We have another offensive lineman, and that is Austin Golson out of Auburn. Now, unlike Phillips, Golson is a guy that played in the SEC, played against top-notch competition in that conference, and just being a part of the Auburn program. Now, he does come from the Gus Malzahn spread offense, so there may be some challenges early just as far as the complexity of his assignments going into a traditional, more NFL type system. But he's a guy that, through his play, his versatility, and also pretty decent numbers at his pro day, that you would give a good chance of just being a player that can make an NFL roster. Actually, I had about a third round grade, third to fourth round grade on Golson. I wouldn't have been surprised if he had gone that early. I know that was sort of an outlier if you look at a lot of the mock drafts that were out, but I just really think he was a valuable part of Auburn's offense, playing center, playing guard, just being able to fill in where they needed him to fill in at. He's the type of prospect that, with that type of versatility, just with that type of experience of playing different positions, he can greatly fit a team need if the team need numbers. Maybe someone capable of playing center in a pinch, playing guard. At 6'4", I wouldn't be opposed to him getting a look at right tackle. Just a very, very, very versatile player. I think as an undrafted free agent, he really has a good chance of making a roster. Now we go on to the 12th best undrafted free agent of the 2018 NFL draft, and that is Trayvon Henderson, safety out of Hawaii. Now Henderson, like as in the case with a lot of prospects, he had a really good 2016 with over 90 tackles, 3 interceptions, 10 tackles for loss. But his 2017 wasn't quite as impressive, but he did get invited to the Senior Bowl, and he also had pretty good numbers on his pro day. So he was still on the draft radar, but no NFL team could quite pull the trigger. I saw that as the case with a lot of safeties in this draft. I think a lot of safeties that were eligible in the 2018 draft were either underdrafted or not drafted at all, that had the capability of playing in the NFL, and I think Henderson is such a case. Just by his physical abilities and his game film, I can see him playing strong safety, or I can see him playing free safety. Just a very versatile player that can play in the box or deep middle. So I think he's another prospect to have a good chance of making a roster, and I think a team will be pleasantly surprised, maybe not surprised if they bring him in because they have an inkling of his ability, but I think fans will be pleasantly surprised if he makes an impact coming up this year. And staying in the secondary for our 13th best undrafted free agent prospect from the 2018 NFL Draft, we go to North Dakota and their safety, Cole Reyes. Now, Reyes is a similar athlete as Henderson, also with a similar story, good 2016, but the reason for Reyes' drop off in 2017, he missed most of the season with injury. Now, injury is always a concern. You just hope he gets back healthy. With Reyes, I believe it was a knee injury. So with the medical technology these days, you would think he would be in the same physical condition he was in 2016. And his pro numbers actually indicate that, as I said, very good numbers. Certainly on par with Henderson numbers. And I guess the vertical jump, the explosiveness, the only thing that Reyes probably lacks right there. But just a prospect, I would probably play him more deep middle or two safety, cover two tight safety. He's probably down in the box, probably like with a free safety role. But he's an instinctive player, pretty good tackler. Just probably have to build his strength a little more and his explosiveness a little more, but he showed good instincts in his 2016 film, and I got trust in him being a good, sure tackler and to make plays on the ball. All right, another secondary player is our 14th top undrafted free agent of the 2018 NFL Draft, and that is Joseph Este out of UT Martin, University of Tennessee Martin. He's another player that didn't get the combine invite. He's a really small school player. I wouldn't say really small school player, but UT Martin is one of your FCS schools that haven't been in the limelight, making playoff runs or anything like that. So Este's getting this chance to make it in the NFL is especially a good opportunity for someone from UT Martin. Very good pro day numbers. I forecast Este as a corner / safety. He can play nickel, dime. Just a very versatile guy, a good tackler. He can make plays on the ball. Doesn't have the interception numbers you'll like, but he can be a solid piece to a defense. I think he's in the realm of MJ Stewart, who was drafted in the 2018 NFL drafted defensive back out of North Carolina. I think Este is a similar type player with his versatility, being able to go from cornerback to safety. Just looking at his raw numbers on pro day and looking at his film, he also has a very good backstory as he's taking care of some younger family members, taking them in as his kids. He did that while he was in college. Just a really mature guy, a good character guy, and a guy that if you're going to pick someone to fight for a roster spot, you want his type of character doing so. All right, we are staying in the secondary, rounding out the secondary portion of our top NFL undrafted free agents for the 2018 NFL Draft, and we go to Southern University for cornerback Danny Johnson. Now Johnson, cornerback out of Southern, did participate in the Senior Bowl, did participate in the Combine, ran a 4.440 at the Combine, had a 35-inch vertical jump, but wasn't drafted. I think part of the reason his size, 5'9", 181, and he projects more as an outside corner than a guy you put on the inside, but similar to Darius Williams, which you saw in part 1 of our undrafted free agents. I think Johnson, in the situation, if he's a third cornerback, if he makes it to that role in the NFL, you can play him on the outside while moving one of your top two cornerbacks to slot. very good playmaker on the ball, 17 career interceptions, had 7 in 2016 alone. Also, he scored touchdowns in various ways as Southern was used, and special teams used as a running back and a receiver. Just a classic playmaking type cornerback. Really, his short stature and the level of play were the main things keeping him from being drafted. But I think that might be an oversight. That definitely is an oversight. I think some team in the future will get lucky with the contribution Johnson will make to their roster. All right, we're moving on to number 16, our 16th best undrafted free agent out of the 2018 NFL draft. And we make it back to FBS football. And we get a guy who was highly productive in 2017 in Central Michigan pass rusher, defensive end, Joe Ostman. Now, Joe really had a great 2017, 13 sacks, 19.5 tackles for loss. If anyone was questioning his athleticism, you look at his pro day number, the thing that jumps at you is his 36.5-inch vertical jump, good explosion there. It's 40.48 pro day, so we're probably talking 4.9, just under 5 seconds for combine had he been tested there. And you also look at the 4.41 20-yard shuttle, which is pretty good for his pass rushing defensive end. I guess at 253 he can stand to put on more weight, but I sort of see Ostman as a stronger, maybe he's not as fast, but stronger version of the Raiders' James Kaiser, who came out of Southern Utah a couple seasons ago and has managed to stick with the Raiders. I think Ostman can do the same thing. His pass rushing ability is for real. You just wonder about his size, and I think he plays with good strength, but I guess the question mark would be how he stands up in the run game. I have no doubt that athletically he can rush the passer in the NFL. You put those numbers on the field and you put those numbers physically, that tends to translate to the next level. So Ostman is another undrafted free agent to keep an eye on. Okay, last but not least, our final undrafted free agent for ones to watch, just our list for the 2018 NFL draft. We go to a team that had a lot of players drafted, the most players drafted in SEC history. In fact, this year, I believe the final number ended up being 11. That's the University of Alabama, and we take a look at their offensive lineman, J.C. Hassenauer. Just another versatile prospect, can play center, can play guard, was highly recruited coming out of the state of Minnesota, high school, just stand out. Injuries really plagued his time at Alabama, but when he got a chance to play, particularly in 2017, down the stretch in some games, he really performed well. He's a guy that you can take a flyer on because of his ability, just his experience playing in a program like Alabama. I think he has a very good chance of sticking with the NFL club. Last I saw, he was getting his first opportunity to stick with the Atlanta Falcons, and that's significant, being that current Falcon offensive coordinator Steve Sarkisian was the offensive coordinator for time there at Alabama when Hassenauer played there, so there's familiarity, and I'm sure Sarkisian advised the Falcons brass of Hassenauer's skills. Just another versatile offensive lineman that you hope can give you some play, even some sub minutes, push your starters at center or guard. There you have it, our final look at the undrafted free agents of the 2018 NFL Draft. Jimmie The G-Him here. Hope you enjoy. As always, like if you like and subscribe to get on top of more content like this.